Hi, Stan Watson here from DMT, the world's leader in diamond sharpening tools, here with
Lori Leibach from Culinary Underground School of Home Cookery in Southborough, Massachusetts.
And we're going to talk to you a little bit today about tips and tricks for knife sharpening, and Lori will talk about?
I'll talk about how to hold the knife correctly, knife safety, and I'll give a demonstration on how to slice, dice, and chop an onion.
So with that said, let's just jump right into it. So Lori, explain to me why a sharp knife is a safe knife.
Well, when you have a dull knife, you have to apply more pressure, and when you put your weight behind that pressure, there's more possibility that you're going to slide off of there and cut yourself or cut somebody else or just do a nasty job.
That doesn't sound very pretty. So.
No, it's not. It's a very nasty thing. So, and when you have a sharp knife, you don't have to work as hard. I think some people have dull knives and they don't like to do work in the kitchen because it's too much work.
Like to cook. Maybe that's why takeout is so popular. Huh?
Yeah, I think that's probably the reason.
So I think I'm going to teach you today how to get to a sharp knife with our DMT Diamond Duo Sharp. It's the world's first double-sided diamond bench stone in the coarse grit and the fine grit. And I will start on the coarse side. Now, that is a dull knife, right, Laurie?
It's extremely dull.
Now, let's see what we can do.
Alrighty, there you go.
Okay. People ask, what's the right angle and how do I get to that angle? Well, there's an easy way to do that, and that would be 90, and half of that would be
45.
There you go. And half of that again is
22 and a half.
There you go. So with that in mind, you just simply stroke across the stone, very evenly, even pressure. Always stroke into the cutting edge. 4, 5. Flip over to the other side, do the same thing. You have 90, 45, 22 and a half.
I see you're keeping your wrists locked.
You need to keep your wrist locked so that you maintain a steady angle. Now that's 5 strokes on that side. Now we're going to flip the stone over to the fine side, progress through the grits. Slide that back in.
It's really easy.
It certainly is. We like to make things easy with diamond sharpening. Now another way to get the right angle is to use 2 quarters, place it right down on the stone, lay the knife down right on top of it, and stroke 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Move the quarters to the other side of the stone, get the other side, lay that down. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And that's how easy it is, Laurie. It's just, that brings you back to slicing paper-thin slices of vegetables.
I noticed that it's only 5, basically 10 strokes altogether to get a sharp knife.
Diamond cuts so quickly that it's about 10 times faster than conventional abrasive. So my 5 strokes there would probably be equivalent to 50 strokes on an Arkansas stone or a water stone.
Oh,
it's
wow.
that fast.
And you don't have to wet the stone here?
No, you can do it dry, or you can do it with a few drops of water. Good practice is to just wipe the surface of the stone clean when you're done, and that's how quick and easy it is to have a sharp knife from DMT.
Terrific.
All right. Well, Laurie, I think the knife is ready for you to try and put it through its paces and make sure I did my job.
All right. The best test for this, I'm going to wipe this off since you were using that on the stone. I think
what are we doing here?
We're going to do an onion because I think we do more onions in the kitchen than anything else, and I think this is the least favorite job of most cooks.
Are you going to make me cry when you cut into
No, we are. Well, I always tell students that you need to learn to do onions quickly and stay ahead of the tears. But I'm going to show you a couple of tricks for making this a less pleasant,
all right, I'm up for
unpleasant chore. Most of the volatile oils in here are in the root end of the onion. Okay. So if we keep that root end intact, it's going to keep all those oils there instead of just whacking away at it and releasing all those oils.
That's usually the first thing I do is square up
cut
the
that
ends,
off, right?
You know?
That's what's
giving
you problems. Plus, it holds all those layers together when we're cutting, so it's a little bit better. So that's the root end, and the stem end, as it comes out of the ground, is like that.
Right.
So, as with everything that we cut, we want to create flat surfaces so that we have stability.
So that's safer too, then, right?
It's much safer that way, and no matter what I'm doing, I always tell students try and create flat surfaces. Now, I want to talk a little bit about...
That's true with sharpness too. Flat surfaces are
very important. Flat surfaces are very important. Holding the knife, both Stan and I are lefties, so the majority of you are going to cringe when you see us doing this. But the best way to hold the knife is to put 3 fingers back behind the bolster and to put your thumb and forefinger on the spine of the blade.
Does that give you more control?
It does. It becomes an extension of your hand. You really kind of need to choke up on it a little bit. And this hand, or the guiding hand, you want to keep these fingers back, including the thumb, which always kind of sneaks out there.
Okay.
It's a little bit, I think, a little bit awkward.
Technique to learn?
But you want to practice it because you know, you don't want to lose these.
Oh,
They're important. So the first thing I'm going to do is create a flat surface by cutting off the stem end.
That gives you your safe
There's
plate
a
in there to keep that so it's not going to roll around.
It's not going to roll around. I love when people are doing this. And then I'm going to make a cut this in half through the root end, and remove the skin.
Okay.
And no matter whether I'm slicing or chopping or dicing, I always do it this way. Unless I want onion rings, this is the best way to do it.
All right.
Now, we can make slices, little half moons.
Now, there's got to be a technique to do this, because when I see people doing this, it's just they're going all over the place, and they get down to this little dinky thing that they can't hold on to.
What they generally do is they slice, and then they start chopping away, and all those oils are being released from the cell structure, and the tears start, and it's just nasty. So what we want to do is make a series of cuts that's going to help us do the dice. And depending on how wide we make these cuts or how small we make them, that's going to be the size of our dice, whether we have a small or larger.
So it depends on what you're dicing it for.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and uniformity is nice because things cook more evenly when you have uniform slices. So what I'm going to do is first I'm going to make a couple of cuts parallel to the board with my knife. And notice where my hand is. His fingers are up, out of the way. And I'm not going to cut all the way through. Ooh, that's a nice sharp knife. What a pleasure to work with.
The first part worked well.
See, I'm not going all through, all the way through. I'm going to leave that root end intact. So I have a couple of cuts that way. Now I'm going to use the point of my knife. I'm going to point towards the root end. And again, I'm not going to go all the way through. I'm just going to make a series of cuts. And you see my fingers are back, out of the way. Nice and safe. And with beginners, I said, you know, you don't have to be, you're not on the Food Network, so you don't have to be going quickly here.
Right, take your time.
Just take your time.
So it'll come with skill.
Absolutely. Some cuts this way, some cuts this way, and now I'm going to slice as I normally would into half moons. And as you'll notice,
are
we crying,
Stan?
I
liking that. That's pretty good.
We are not crying.
I knew I hung around you for one reason. Tell you.
And as you get down, you know, as you become more proficient at this, you'll get closer and closer.
Sure.
But as you come down to the end and it gets a little more awkward, I flip it on its wide end and just continue, doing this that way. So.
Well, Laurie, thanks very much. I'm glad I was able to take your dull knife, bring it back to sharp, and you're able to show me some of these tricks and tips in the kitchen.
No problem.
That's Stan Watson from DMT and
Laurie Liebach from Culinary Underground.
Thanks very much.